Hi and welcome to this week's review. Usually I start out these episodes by showing my face talking at your general direction, but my footage kind of got mangled this week, so we're just going to jump right into the game. This time we're taking a look at Serious Sam HD, the first encounter, and before we get any further I want to make something perfectly clear. I'm under zero obligation to finish these games. What I'm aiming to do with these reviews is try to give you a taste of what you'd encounter in your first impression of the game. So it really goes from game to game as to how long I'm going to play it before I start these reviews. For Serious Sam HD I played it for 76 minutes. That was too long, y'all. It was way too long. At first glance, Serious Sam is a typical first-person shoot-all-the-things type game. At second glance, it's the same thing. After receiving a flimsy excuse for a plotline, you're teleported back to ancient Egypt times to fight aliens, gaining bigger and better, though surprisingly modern, weapons as you go. The plot isn't great, it's not Gone Home or even BioShock. Surely they put some effort into the world building though, right? I mean, the aliens have to have a name like... Oh dear. Hey, Serious Sam, real talk? Naming a group of evil aliens after a nationality probably wasn't the best idea. Just saying. Okay, let's get back to the game now. I mean, how's the game? You know, the game? The game... I'll say this game has potential, but it never quite reaches it. The mechanics are all solid, the weapon and enemy diversity is good, the engine feels good. The problem comes in the execution. Enemies only appear after you enter certain areas, usually designated by ammo and health pickups. The game penalizes you for exploring an area by forcing you to deal with pesky squads of enemies, which is usually just a matter of pulling out your infinite ammo pistols and picking them off one by one. It's not a challenge, it's just something you gotta do. There are a few entertaining combat scenarios where the level design, enemy balance, and ammo proportions balance out nicely, but for most of the time I felt more like I was slogging from one area to the next, either glutted with ammo or starving. I was either overwhelmed or bored. That sweet spot of just the right amount of ingenuity was hard to find. And have I mentioned the screamers? Yeah, there's a very common enemy that makes that noise. Not to mention that this is part of the background music of one of the levels. This game has some major audio issues that somebody should have caught, but here we are. Beyond that, well, there's not much to talk about beyond that. There are some secret areas in the levels, but the reward for finding them is getting certain weapons slightly sooner, and then you're not getting any ammo for them until you're supposed to get them. Not much of a prize. The graphics are serviceable, but they never rise above that level. Everything's just kinda there, looking vaguely Egypty. No, most of the attention in this game's design process clearly went to the gameplay, and that's where most of the judgment, unfortunately for Serious Sam, must fall. In the end, there's a good skeleton for a game here, but the execution is lackluster at best and problematic at worst. This game never impressed me in any meaningful way. Most of the time it felt like a chore. That's why it's getting the prestigious honor of replacing retying your shoes in the airport and settling in right between Fairy Bloom Frisia and gratuitous space battles, which is precisely the order in which I would choose to play these games again, so... sounds about right. Hey, we're getting rid of those non-game rankings one at a time, huh? Let's keep it going. Hey, thanks for watching this video, friend, and if you liked it, would you leave me a like and a subscribe? That would help me out a whole bunch, more than words can say. Okay, that's not quite true. The words that I would need to say to express that is it helps me when people are searching for videos like this, and it also helps me in like the YouTube recommends, the videos on the side and stuff, if you know what I'm talking about. So I can say that with words. But my gratitude would be more than words can say. I appreciate you. Next month we're going to be taking a look at another Crow Team game, the Talos Principle. We're finally going to get to do some of that good old comparing and contrasting on games from the same team, y'all. I'm so stoked! Until then, thanks for watching everybody, and see you next time. I'm rooting for you.